Hey, Warren Eckstein here. In the past on my YouTube channel, we discussed the medical reasons that may cause your dog to become aggressive. And there are many, many medical reasons that may cause your dog to become aggressive. But today, I want to take a look at something a little bit different. In most cases, I would say the majority of cases, and believe me, I've seen a lot of dogs. In most cases, when a dog becomes aggressive or starts acting aggressive, what they're doing is they're trying to tell you something. The most important thing you can do is to try to figure out what's causing the aggressive behavior. The first thing you want to look at, obviously, is to make sure the dog is physically in good shape. The second thing you want to look at is any changes. A divorce, a new child coming into the house. What about your own personality? Sometimes your personality goes from one end of the leash to the other. So if you're really stressed out, and a lot of people were stressed out with the past couple of years, then that might be causing your dog to react in a different way as well. So don't always assume that the dog's just being aggressive for no reason. There's always a reason. And as I just said, sometimes the reason is you. Also, the dog may be fearful. He may be afraid. They may freeze. They may run. They may cower, even snap at you. It's often referred to as the flight or fight syndrome. And when people talk about flight or fight, what they're saying is in a dog's mind, subconsciously, what happens is when a dog is placed in a situation where they're fearful, they're afraid, they don't know what to do, they're kind of in that crazy position, they either run or they fight. That's called the flight or fight syndrome. Now also, we talked about this before, but let me just mention it again. Very often when a dog is displaying any type of pain, it could be what's called pain-elicited aggression, which means they're guarding part of their body if their leg hurts or some other part. So sometimes that's also a reason. We talked about that before, so check out some of the YouTube that we've done in the past. Anxious, I talked about this. Anxiety, dogs feel anxiety just like we do. And anxiety or fear can either come up as indirect or direct aggression. Indirect aggression, obviously the growling, the snarling. Direct aggression, really more confrontational. And of course, there's the territorial dominance. Listen, I don't want anyone else coming into my garage and taking over. So very often when a person brings a new dog into the household, or even a new person comes in and starts to be assertive, they may react to that. So a little territorial dominance. That's why you hear me suggest all the time, the best way to introduce any two animals is on neutral territory. That's even for people dating. Don't take them right to your house. Meet them at the local tavern and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine together. And it also could be this, and this is something I learned when I was studying overseas. Very often, if a dog has had a bad experience with some type of thing, a man wearing a hat, a man having a beard, a man with a deep voice, a woman carrying a purse, or a woman carrying a cane. All of these things can trigger a response in your dog if, in fact, the dog has had a bad experience in that situation. For example, I remember years ago sitting in a tavern in Frankfurt, Germany, just outside of Frankfurt, Germany, a small town called Bonn-am-Maes, and we were talking specifically about what bad experiences and how to react with dogs. And one of the things we all kind of agreed on is that if you take a dog to a specific area, he might not know exactly what happened at that time, but he will know that something either bad or something really good happened. So aggressive behavior, and remember, it can be dealt with. Work with your veterinarian, work with your local trainers, work with your behaviorists. Never give up. There's always a way. Listen, they're not all going to be Benji, and they're not all going to be Rin Tin Tin, but they don't have to be Cujo either. So aggressive behavior is why so many dogs wind up at shelters when, in fact, when they go to the shelter, that even becomes a bigger problem of finding their home. So let's try to resolve any aggressive behavior. Hope this helps you out a little bit in determining why, but really look at yourself, look at the environment, look at any changes that can often be the trigger. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Warren Eckstein. We'll be sharing hundreds of videos helping you cope with your pet, but a lot more likely helping your pets cope with you.